Welcome, and looking at gold here, the wave 4 that we've been tracking up through here in wave C. We're looking for a 5-wave price action through here. Normally the C wave is roughly the same length as the A wave, but normally a little bit lazier. Normally the A wave in a correction is sharper, and we are seeing that here. So it's got all the makings of a wave C there, and looking for it to move up a little bit further. So in terms of the structure to the upside here, I need to do a little bit more homework on this one, but I've got the wave 3 sitting up here further, but it is possible to have that wave 3 in here on this top one here with a small wave 4. If I can just move these out of the way, smaller wave 4 in here and a wave 5 up through to here. But I'm just going to toy around with those for a little while yet. But yeah, let's just drill in and have a look at that as we go. And in this particular case here, I've put the wave 3 high here and the wave 4 here. But the wave 4 just seems a bit small to me in compared to the trend that it's in here, but I'll just leave it there for the time being. The other thing too about commodities is that the 5th wave can extend, and yes, we do have an extension in the 3rd wave here, nice strong 3rd wave here, so it's likely that wave 1 here and wave 5 up here will be about the same length. So the other point is that this particular little move up here can extend in the sense that it can be 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So there's a few options that we're sort of playing around with, but when it comes down to it at this point here, say on the hourly here, we're looking for a correction across the midpoint here. Okay, sorry, yesterday we were looking for, in the normal flow of things, we were looking for a wave C to move a bit lower down here, remember? In the 1310, the 1300 here, basically an A and a B and a C. But because of those problems in Europe there, obviously this has been a bit of money being switched over here. So yeah, and you know, it's going to be headline driven, this particular trend here. So, but that said, across the 50, the midpoint here, we can expect a corrective pattern across here, and we really just need to allow it to unfold, and once it has support, or if it gets support after 3 swings here, if it can develop support here, then you know that we'll be heading further up from that point there. So just looking at that particular structure here as well, in terms of the 5 waves up, the logical thing from this wave C here, the logical thing would to be looking at this in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's a little bit difficult for me to work out. At the same time, this wave 1 could actually be here as well. So, and I've got that sort of here. So, and that this wave 3 would be up here, and wave 4 here. That would be the logical step for this wave count, but I just can't get in here enough to figure it out. But I think that if we run with the levels, we can keep this as wave 1 here, or maybe one more new high here. But we're looking for a very clear, corrective pattern in 3 waves, and then we're looking for support on the 350. So that would be the setup to go long. So we've got a session to work that out. So yeah, silver. Once again, we're looking at on the daily here. We're looking for a move to the upside here in 5 waves, in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. I know this is struggling here at this point here, and can come lower here. And let's just have a little look at that, because yesterday we were looking at this particular pattern sitting here, and we understood that this is looked like an A wave and a B wave, and we're looking for a C wave to move up to the 2150. Now that's moved up there. In fact, it's moved higher, well, up to the wherever it is here anyway. So we'd need to see this work lower from here, and of course the gold will be correcting across the midpoint there, the 1350. So we'll see how this goes from here. But this could also, if gold finds support on the 1350, then we could see this push up as well. And the way that we would see that is we would be looking at this here as a retracement level back into the 50-60% here in 3 waves like it is at the moment. So we've got this 1, 2, an ABC here, and then if we find support on this midpoint here on the 2150 here, a nice sort of reference point above that to trade long from, then obviously you'd go long from that point. But if that fails to become the support in the 2150, I mean, it's going to move down here anyway, but if it moves down further down through here, then you'll know that this market is got this A, B and C here, and will be moving down further from here. So you could look to glean a small short position at 2120 and then look to add on under here as resistance on this leg here. Right, the copper market, where are we here? So the copper market here, I've got new contracts here, so I haven't labeled everything, but basically on the weekly chart here, we've got the A, the B, and so the A, the B, and the C here, and we're looking for this to go further down. So down here for 1, back for 2, down for 3, 4, and 5, coming down through to here. So with that in mind, we're looking for the first 5 waves to complete here. And it nearly has done that. It may have done it already with that bounce off the 315 there. So the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 here. So we're looking for an A and a B and a C. I'm not sure how far it will pull back up. The normal is 50-60% of the wave 1 down through to here. But let's just observe the first internal structures as they build, and we'll get some idea of what each leg is going to be. Yesterday we were looking at the 5th wave coming into this little area through here, and in fact we were in here yesterday and we could count that we had wave 3 to here, wave 4, and we're looking for wave 5 to go. And I haven't pulled this apart here. There may just be one more push down through to here, because it does look quite strong in this little 3rd wave here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I'll have to pull that apart on a smaller chart. But look, the main point is that there's a bigger bearish picture unfolding in this market. The oil market obviously has pushed up through here, and we're looking at being long above the 102 or keeping stops under this previous low here was the game, and obviously getting to the midpoint would be the target. So that's where you would exit, of course. We can expect a 4th wave and a 5th wave still to apply across here, and I've got this as the top of wave 5 here, which is all of this structure that we've been looking at coming up through here. So we should see a larger correction of that point there, but would need to be a little bit careful because of what's going on in the Ukraine. And from memory, all the gas comes from Russia in that point there, so they can flick switches on and off and all the rest of it. But so we'll just see what unfolds across the 105 here. And as you know, if we get an A and a B and a C and then support, we have to be going along from that point. As simple as that. If that doesn't occur, then we'll just see that fold down through here, and we'll be on that particular path there. And the Brent lines up pretty much with this as well. I'll bring the Brent across here because we have been looking at it now and again. And just going back here, we originally had a little 5 waves here, so then we knew that after a correction we'll get another 5 up. We got a pretty big, ugly sort of correction there, but in terms it's big and ugly, but it's got the perfect shape for an ABC correction. And then we're looking for wave 3 to the upside, which we counted up here as wave 3 here, and then we're looking at this as wave 4. Had a bit of trouble with this, had a few swings and this and that in it, but eventually it's obviously pushed up here, and you can see the 5 waves going up through here. So technically we'd be looking at the A, the B and the C pulling back to the to the 50-60% of this whole 5 waves up through here, but I wouldn't count on that. We'll just look into this range here across 1 being the strongest number in the market, just psychological terms, psychology. Yeah, so we'll see how that pans out through there. The gas market is pretty much sort of on track here, what we're looking at in terms of an A wave down here, an A and a B and a C back up through here. The B wave can take this low out through here and still be intact here. As I mentioned the other day, I haven't actually had time to pull this apart through here, and I'm not actually that worried about this particular count yet. I just wanted to, I haven't got the time to look at it, but once it starts maturing, and then we'll take a real close look at it. But we're not quite interested in it yet until we've seen some type of 3 big swings across here, and then we'll be picking it up from that point. So, but anyway, we're just keeping an eye on it. No big deal just yet. The soybean market on the weekly chart here, look, nothing's changed here. We're still buying every 10 points, and we're still expecting to go higher than the 1500. The main point here is the 1400 here, and just observing the correctional pattern unfold across here as such. And we were looking for 3 waves as such, so the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here, and then we're looking for support here, and then we'll be moving up from that point there. So that's what we're looking at. It may not pull all the way back down through here, it may just move up from here. I'm not sure, but just keep buying very small positions at each 10 points there, because we're in a trend to the upside, so you don't have to be too particular about it. The good news, finally, is that the wheat and the corn have shown their structure. So what we do have now is we have a 5-wave structure to the upside. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is an impulse wave. So what we can say now is that because we got 5 waves here, that means that after some type of A, B, C correction, we'll get another 5 of the same length or even further. What we can't say is that, is this wave 1 or A? But it doesn't make any difference for the time being, and I'll be able to work it out a bit later on. So we've got up for 1 or A, we'll get some sort of B wave here, could come lower, and then we'll get a strong C wave up, so we can be looking at 700 to the upside. Well, this one was 550, 650, so we can be looking at the same length to the upside. We'll look at 720, of course. But what we will do here is we will be able to understand if we're going to get a 3rd wave, or is this going to be an A, B, and C wave to here, or is it going to be 1, 2, and a 3rd wave? So it's pretty easy to tell, because normally if the A wave here is normally the sharpest, so if this is going to be a C wave, then it's going to be more lazy like this here. It's going to struggle to the upside. If it's going to be a 3rd wave, it's going to be stronger than the 1st wave, so it's going to be looking like this. So we'll be able to work it out pretty quick. And if it is going to be the 3rd wave, then we'll be pushing this length here plus, another 60% or another 100% on top of that. So we'll be looking for, a fair way up. We've got a few things to navigate here. The 650 is the medium level here, so we can put a darker big fat line in here, just to make us aware of it, because it's a number that we don't normally think of that much, and we'll watch that play out. It'll have enough to say anyway, and yeah, so that's really good news, I think, and the same with the corn as well. So now we've got this 5-wave structure up for the corn market. And once again, we'll be looking at a corrective pattern here as well, in terms of an A and a B and a C that could pull back to the 50-60% area, and then a move to the upside through here. And we'll be also looking at this as being 1 or A, and 2 and B, so it'd be a C or 3 coming up through here. Now, it does this is a point where you would need to consider what you would do in terms of taking profit and so forth here, because if you're going to take profit, then this would be the place to take it. Otherwise, just follow our stops. We're keeping our stops at 436, which are, and I may even move them, if that's the case, back into safe ground here, if that's going to be the case, depending on how this unfolds through here. We may even get a situation where I haven't really clearly focused on this, but if we did get a push straight up through here, then we'll get the correction up here somewhere. But I need to leave the stops out of the way until this wave 2 or B is completed here. Once that's completed here, and we've got a low to work with, wherever that may be, could be here, could be here, could be down here, wherever it is, then we can move our stops up to these points here, and then we can build, because once we get past wave 1 and 2 here, then we've got the third wave here, and we've got positions all the way up from 30s through all the way through here. So it's panning out to be a really good trade. Of course, with commodities, and because we're dealing with contracts here, the May's the next one here. If you've got positions in here, they will be taken out on the close of the contract. If you want them to stay in there and roll over into the next contract, well, then you can just ring your provider and they'll roll them over for you. All right, the orange juice is looking a little bit healthier as well in terms of this pattern on the 2-hour chart here anyway. This is our key reference point here. This is really needs to stay in place to keep the uptrend going, but this move across here is clearly corrective, so we should make a new high above here. But I think I've mentioned that before. Anyway, we just got to kind of wait till that 150 is the support area up here. And as I mentioned before, we don't know if we've got wave 2 here or we've got wave 2 over here. But one way or another, we'll be going up with orange juice because we've got 5 waves in here, and eventually we'll get 5 over here. And the other thing that's kind of worth noting as well is that this correction is quite big. Whichever way we look at it, it's quite big. So what will happen, a couple of things. We can look at this in terms of accumulation, and then we can square time and price up coming up through here. So the distance we have across here will be the distance we move up through here. And we expect that anyway, because we're expecting a third wave to move up through here. So we won't expect it to have a really sort of, big correction across the 150 as such here, because all the accumulation is done here. So it'll be like a spring and move up here. There'll be a very small thing here. So it will move quite swiftly through here because all the work is done here and not over here as such. Yeah, if you've got small positions in that, you just need to keep the stops under that red line for the time being. All right, thanks. Cheers.